So as you can see, it is raining out there, and I'm just in my 6th mile of 10. Weighed 165 pounds today with a 29.5-inch waist, and believe it or not, we still have that, particularly the left chest issue with actual breast tissue. So tomorrow I'm getting a tribulus supplement that will bring up my free testosterone, and I am being as transparent as I possibly can. It's nice to be able to reduce the cortisol levels, reduce the adrenaline effect. I love long, slow distance walking. That's what GET training and continuous training is all about. And by my estimation, I'm still probably upwards of 8 or 9% body fat, even at this low body weight. I have less muscle mass on me than I did in the past with my prior channel that I had going some years back. Once I am in the gym next month doing bench press and squats and heavy curls and heavy bent over rows, standing calf raises, just the basics, you know. Rotating dumbbell presses, throwing a set of side laterals, be able to pick those dumbbells up, go on the cable machine, slap out on some free weights, do a couple sets on the kettlebells. And I was certified by A to E, Jordan Vizina, who's a master Dragon Door kettlebell instructor years ago. And when I asked him, he was a good friend of mine, I asked him if I could get another copy. He said, I don't make those copies, but you can personally have anyone who might be inquiring to call me. And he's writing like Tom Clancy type novels. You ought to check him out if you're interested in those types of books. Jordan Vizina. He lives around the Bay Area. Great guy. And a testament to fitness and just focusing on the practicum of solid, steady state, hardcore exercises. Pavel Satsunam. He followed everything that Pavel taught back in the day. I was also involved with TRX in TRX early days, Fitness Anywhere. And we hosted at the gym, the Equinox that I worked for, we hosted many events there. I was cranking out over 63 clients, 17 hours a day, and walked away from the corporeal. It was the hardest thing to do over the last decade. Erased all my videos and found a need to spiritually develop myself. Ended up becoming fat and disgusting. Tried to do a couple cheat cycles in there that resulted in the left breast tissue that I said it very clearly. If you look back at, you know, early videos from earlier this year, we're not even into the next year. So, I mean, it's hard to believe that I've been doing this for, dieting is what I mean by doing this, for only the last 8 months, eight and a half months. Like I weighed almost 240 pounds 8 months ago. About 230, I was down to 230, just from working out. And there was a moment where I was trying to decide, do I want to go up to like 275 or 300 pounds and just start throwing some weight around? Because after only 3 to 6 weeks in, I was already bench pressing close to 300 pounds. My arms were approaching 18. My chest was over 50 inches, and then I got it down a little under 50 when I just had started to play with fasting and taking in MCT, coconut oil, things like that. And so I looped back around into the carnivore, and that's where we are now. We're back in the carnivore state, if you will. And I've got this isopure with collagen protein at a 3-to-1 ratio. Basically, there's 3 pounds left probably in here. It's a 3-pound container. And then we've got still got like 2 or 3 pounds of this, which has isopure in it. And then I'm taking in, I'm skipping the superfoods because it was kind of messing with, I could just metabolically feel it. And then we're eating eggs. And we are eating this Farmer John's. We still have 4 of these. I'm eating approximately 1 pound or half of one of these per day. That's a little smaller one. That one's 2 pounds, so I'll just split that right down the middle between the 2 days. And I like to keep the lights off because I like to keep my cortisol levels down, as I stated, keep the stress down. And I haven't done one day in this fasting, this entire training and fasting cycle where I've done any HIIT training. If you notice, even the little bit of proofs that I showed in the gym doing cardio with my son, we sat back on a recumbent and did a nice slow spin because I believe in long, slow distance because I had achieved those types of results in the past. And now I'm under a 30-inch waist. I wanted to be able to show that and prove that today because it's been very difficult for me to not only weigh myself, but show where my waist measurement is. Because I'm chugging water all day, all through the day. It's a rainy day. On the Monterey Peninsula. And again, we're closing in on 6 miles for our total walk. What I'll do is I'll walk 3 miles and then I'll take a little break. And particularly this deep into ketosis. This is my seventh day of ketosis. And by my estimation, what I was getting to at the beginning of this live stream was that by my estimation, if I'm still 8 or 9% body fat, then we're talking about a reduction of 5% body fat for my overall goal, which would put me at 157 pounds. So I've effectively lost 3 to 5 pounds of sheer muscle. So even when I wasn't training much throughout times in my life, I would put, one set of going on that bench, not hurting yourself, but just really pushing yourself hard. One set can make all the difference in keeping the motor neurons active. But as we get older, the degradation increases exorbitantly to where when we get to the stages of geriatrics and being bedridden, a lot of the studies that go way back show close to 100% decline. Like older people have to train or they die. And if you've taken the jab and seen the research on that, they're actually finding that these spike proteins that are from the jab are found in cancer cells. A lot of people have been deceived and they are passing away directly from the, you know what. So, I didn't get jabbed. I'm not bragging. Both my kids did. I don't know if my dear friend did, but most people were forced into it. And I'm antithetical to society, contrary to society. And that's the beauty of being able to just stay in my own space as an autonomous person. But I digress. 157, even 156 point something is what I came up with. The reduction of 5% more body fat. So that would put me at around probably a 28-inch waist. And I can only tell where I'm at as far as my lean body mass goes. You know, definitely lost some bone density, but I'm building it back up. I'm still sticking with this ATP plus cretinol supplement. I take that throughout my walks. I have been for the past month. Taking magnesium. I'm finished with this vitamin C, but I'm taking the powder right now. Vitamin D. And then we have that huge list of supplements here with the Isopure. Right? And I take Isopure here and here. There's half Isopure in this and 3/4 Isopure here. And Isopure has such an extensive list of nutrients. That's why I pay so much. That little container, this little one here, that's almost $100. Things are not cheap these days, right? So what I'll typically do is I'm working on my 6th mile, so I kind of do like a 3-parter in my own head. I burn around that first 250 calories. Then I go into the next 250 calories. And then finally, sometimes the more I walk, the easier it is. Right now I'm oxidizing. And so what I'll probably be doing is pulling out one of these pork tenderloins, cooking that up. Usually you want to add 20 to 30 minutes minimum after a preheated oven for frozen. So if we've got 2 pounds there, we're probably looking at cooking that for maybe an hour and 25. And as I stated, I always recommend using one of these guys and washing the hell out of your hands. And that's ketosis, that's carnivore. And so after 7 days, I'm on my 7th day, the results are going to show whether or not you're losing or gaining. Well, I'm losing. Sitting right at 165, feeling great about it. I'm not going to see any marked muscular differences. I mean, I'm going to be able to see in the next 5 to 7 pounds every bit of muscle that I have on my body. And I'm shooting for striations. I'm way far away from that, but I'm about 8 or 9% body fat right now. And it's just clinging around certain areas where there's more fat cells, like the lower chest, the lower abdomen, where there's an increased number of fat cells or a higher density of fat cells. So once I get back in the gym next month, that's when I'll be showing some really good progress on the actual hypertrophic and thickening state of those muscles. And it's really cool at my age, but I'm not talking about age specifically. I'm talking about the experience of having trained for so intensely for so many years to be able to get enough fat off to be able to see, oh yeah, I remember working on my tricep and trying to develop, this head or that head or this muscle or that muscle. Oh, it's still like that, You can tell by your face. You can tell by how one disperses fat on their face, what's going on in the torso. Like the jowls, that's going to be your lower abdomen, at least for my body. Your obliques, it's going to be your cheeks. So a lot of these areas with, you could call them Meriden lines, and just how our nervous system functions and how fat cells are cued. Everyone's different, but tends to be exactly how I lay out the fat in my body. And it might get into the sciences or the quasi sciences of reflexology. But if you've ever been in a lot of pain and you've ever squeezed your hand and applied pressure, and then suddenly the pain is reduced, those impulses, those rate signaling, afferent signal responses then have another designation or prompt to go in that specific area. So I just wanted to do a quick one just to say what I'm doing, that I'm sticking on it, that I'm on carnivore at the moment and seeing great results. I looped back around on carnivore, that I'm pushing out these miles. I'm on my 4th day and I would have been on like my 6th day. So it did set me back having my son off those 2 days. And he's typically like off tomorrow or the next day. So hopefully tomorrow I can get a 5th solid 10-mile walking day in. And I've trained 3 times this week. So I'm seeing a marked difference in my energy, and that's why I'm just doing this live. But it's also to solidify my goal. My goal is to get down now to 157 pounds and to increase my stamina, to focus on maintaining, if not building. And that's the beauty with carnivore also, is that you can actually build muscle while you're burning fat, while you're oxidizing. So this is probably the best exercise that you can possibly do, in my opinion, and what I've always recommended and why I got great results with clients is it's long, slow distance, man. It really works. Oxidizing and focusing on that, not trying to get things done too expeditiously. People want things done tomorrow, and things just don't work like that. Any great big goal, especially at 54 years old, that someone wants to achieve, you're going to have to look at time as a measure, and then look at the current sciences, the inter-rater, infrared, double blind. Well, beyond that, and the experience, between these studies and the experience that you have, and then keeping your eyes open and seeing new research. So I've been putting up, I think it's Found My Fitness clips. Very scientific lady there and good information, but I have no way to tell if she's just reiterating other people's research, but it sounds like she really knows her stuff. So I enjoy putting those clips up and watching her because of the information that she extends forward. Anyway, just a quick live, just to say what's up. New goal 157, getting down to a solid 3 to 6% body fat at that weight, and it's just begun. Like I've gotten to my goal. So this is my goal. This was my end all goal, was 165 pounds. And I said to myself, if I still have issues with the lower pec fat, a lot of skin too, breast tissue a little bit, and some lower belly fat, which there's very little of, that I was going to continue on to more extreme measures, and that's where we are right now. So it's raining where you're at. I hope you're enjoying it. It's a rainy day in Central California, and I'm doing it. I'm feeling great. and I'll keep checking in maybe on a weekly basis with these lives and start showing the show as I'm doing it. Right now I'm feeling a little too fatigued to do any like flexing or anything like that to show muscle separation. But maybe later in the day today. And then it's just back to the grind. 157 pounds, staying on carnivore, and eventually next month starting to get some running in as well as gym time. All right, thank you. Peace be with you.